Okay, in this video we're looking at action plans and long-term growth. You need to look back and organize what articles and assets that you already have. Okay, it could be in the form of content that you have. Maybe you've accumulated, we all have done this over years on your hard drive. You've got all kinds of information that you can use for products, right? You can repurpose them. It can spark ideas that you can take and run with. And these are things that you already have that you can utilize. So it's not like starting completely from scratch. If you already have assets, then why not put them to use? Okay, now the next thing, you want to look at what skills do you currently have. Again, get a pen and paper and write down exactly what skills that you think you have. Another thing, some people don't even know what skills they have. So go ahead and ask friends and family and ask them, what skills do you think I have? What am I good at? And same thing, figure out what you're weak at. Where are your weaknesses in business? And also ask family, where do you think I'm weak at? And be totally honest, be transparent, because that's really good data that you're going to be able to work with. And when you know these things, you can then start outsourcing things that maybe you're not good at. So I'm not saying you have to do that right away. If funds are tight, then outsourcing, we're going to talk more about that later on, but that is something that you're definitely going to want to look at. Okay, so then you want to take your results and create a plan around the data that you've gathered. Like I said, this is really important data that you're going to need. Now, the next thing you want to look at is running a successful business. You're going to have ups and downs with it, just like anything. But really, when you're working through things, you want to make sure that you're actually failing fast so you can move forward quickly. You're going to run into obstacles, you're going to get frustrated, but just know you need to move through these things. Any successful person always moves through any struggles they have. And by doing this, you're going to gain valuable info where you can improve upon. So any results you get, whether they're good or bad, is valuable information. So keep that in mind. Okay, if something bad happens, it's not necessarily a bad thing. And again, it's all in perspective, right? How do you see that? You can turn a bad thing around to be a good thing or not so bad. Okay, this really comes down to testing and tweaking everything. Okay, you want to get results for everything, so you got to test everything that you're doing. And don't become a perfectionist, all right, in this process. If you try and perfect every little thing, you're going to get basically caught like a deer in the headlights. All right, perfectionists, for some people that works. For most people, it's really going to cause them to basically cease activity in their business. It's a real problem for people, and it's again that procrastination thing. Okay, if you're a perfectionist, so get out of that habit. Do not be a perfectionist. It will definitely hold you back. Okay, something else that you want to look at doing is automate your money systems. When you can automate things such as using PayPal, where they can take automatic payments, just things like that, that really frees up your time. Any technology that you can use that's going to free up your time, that can run on autopilot, is extremely valuable, because you can't be everywhere at all times. You can't, some people do wear the pants for their entire business. It's not smart to do that. Maybe at first you're going to be doing that, but eventually you want to start automating things and letting other people that are better at specific tasks to do that. This way, it leaves you the time to actually think of new products, new ideas, and meet with people, go to seminars and things like that where your JV partners are going to be. That's what's really important, right, is the networking side of things. Okay, so now with long-term growth, you want to be building your business over time. It's not going to happen overnight. This will take some time to do. However, with technology and that, you can build a lot quicker than a traditional business. So this long-term growth is going to happen over the long term, but it can be quicker than traditional. So again, make sure you're always moving forward, never backwards. Create a list of what's important each day. And you can set up, I mentioned this before, but it's really important, setting up blocks of time where you can work at the tasks that you have to do each day until you complete it. Right? It's okay to take brief breaks. I'm not talking about sitting there for hours. But when you have that written out of the time you need to spend on a task and you have to do it, you're going to get it done. Okay, unless you're a complete procrastinator, then you shouldn't even be doing this type of business. But taking blocks of time and completing the task is really important. Okay, now I did mention about creating systems. This is going to help you get things done quicker. It's going to help you explain any kind of tasks that you have to outsourcers. So that's really, really important. You can identify what systems are actually working for you over time. What works for you, what doesn't. Again, this is always good data. And what traffic sources work. Over time, you're going to find out who are your big affiliates that are promoting products for you when you start JVing. All of this is really good data that you definitely need. Okay, so the last thing I want to touch on in this video here is tracking your results. Everything that you do, you can track, and you really should be tracking everything. If you're not tracking data, you will be working backwards, because the data you get, any little thing that you can test and tweak is going to be really extremely valuable to you. And you may not understand that at this point, but once you get your business up and running, you'll understand why tracking is really important. And there's so many people out there still that don't track. It's super important. If you're not someone that's analytical, that's fine, no problem. But try and get in the habit of analyzing all your results. It's going to help you in the long run, and it's going to help you grow a lot quicker. If you want to get to that $5,000 plus per month, take all this information in and absolutely take action with it, because this is what's going to help you get there. Okay, the other thing is with the tracking, make sure you're actually seeing where your traffic and sales are coming from. If there's some campaigns that you've set up aren't working, nix them and move on. Okay, if something's not working, don't keep thinking it's going to work. The data will tell you. The numbers don't lie. If a campaign is not working, get rid of it quick. Okay, and I just want to end with, make sure you're getting feedback from your customers. Okay, people will sometimes forget this. Again, I talked about before about surveying, and I'm repeating some of this because it's that important. Surveying your customers is going to give you that data you need, and it's going to make them happy in the long run, because you can improve your service and what you're providing for them. Okay, and one other thing, make sure that you're using some kind of tracking device such as Google Analytics, or there's a great plugin. If you're using, again, I do suggest using the WordPress platform for your websites. A great plugin is called, you're going to want to write this down, it's called Clicky Analytics, and that's a great plugin to use. It gives you some great data. Okay, now one final thing is a quote by Napoleon Hill. Keep in mind, strength and growth comes only through continuous effort and struggle. I think that's a great quote, and think about that for a minute. Whenever you're growing, you're always going to have struggles, okay? But it's that continuous effort and pushing through that's going to help you be successful. All right, we'll see you in the next video.